You should. Okay, next one is restricted blacklist. One of the things I'm starting to run into is people who do alphanumeric filtering only. So you do alphanumeric filtering only, and because he's doing alphanumeric filtering, he's like, well, you can't have a 1 equals 1. But can I still try like a 1 like 1? I mean, 1 is like 1, isn't it? So as you start to look at this kind of stuff, you're like, wow, I don't need an equal sign. All right, so signature-based IDS. So everyone's got this as your mouse pad, right? Oh, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. So you've got your hexadecimal ASCII chart as your mouse pad, right? I know you do. I know you do. So this is your mouse pad. And now we're going to go look at ourselves some IDS signatures. So my favorite one is when you see an IDS like this one, right? So it's like, okay, alert TCP, any inbound IP, any inbound port, going to my web servers, on my web server ports, and what I'm looking for is tick or 1 equals 1. And we can bypass this signature by saying tick or 2 equals 2. See, I told you this bypassing IDS stuff was so damn hard. So you look at this and you're like, are you kidding me? And then you can try other stuff like, well, hey, dude, is 1 less than 2? I'm thinking it is. So bypassing signature-based IDS, and a lot of people really kind of just scared me because a signature-based IDS, you're like, are you serious? I mean, really, this shit is like, I got one. And all the rest of the shit just, Okay, now I'm saying this because I was an IDS analyst for 2 years of my life. I did have this pain of looking at all these IDS alerts every damn day and going, damn, is it just me or do we catch people after they're already owned? Like, it's like, hey, look at all these packets. Wow, that box over there is owned. All right, so let's go look at some more complex signatures, yeah? So we've got a little bit more complex signature. This time the guy's looking for the word and or the word or. So you're seeing that, he's like, okay, I'm looking for the word and I'm looking for the word or. I'm still looking for 1 equals 1, but I'm also going to catch those pesky little comments. Okay, you're not going to catch me with a little dash and slash asterisk and a pound sign. No. Not catching me with that stuff, bro. So how do we bypass that? Can we say 2 equals 2? Percent sign 2D, percent sign 2D. Hey guys, what's percent sign 2D? Percent sign 2D in hex. Dash. So essentially what you're doing is you just say, okay, why don't I just put whatever I'm asking for in a different encoding type? So here we start to do something a little bit more crazy, right? Here you see that I just put the entire select statement. Look here, bypass techniques. I put the entire select statement in hex. Be surprised just how often this stuff works. Put your entire attack in a completely different encoding method. Or if you really want to mess some people up, try like part of it in hex, part of it in base 64, part of it in UTF-16. Flies right by most IDSs. Flies right by most web application firewalls. And the really, really cool part is if you're using open source tools like SQL Map, SQL Ninja, any of these Perl, Python, Ruby-based SQL injection or cross-site scripting attack tools, you can just go right into the source code of the tool and change them. So as soon as you figure out what encoding method bypasses the security implementation, you just go right into your tool and change your tool. And that's it. Now I can run my tools against the websites that I want. Okay? All right. One of the other things that I don't think a lot of people realize is if somebody wanted to write signatures for all these different encoding methods, just look at what writing a select statement in hex would be like, because you have to make sure that you checked for uppercase S and lowercase s, uppercase E and lowercase e. And this is just in hex. Okay, we're not even talking about trying all the other encoding types. All right, anybody using PHP IDS? Okay, anybody know what I'm talking about? Okay? PHP IDS, check out phpids.org. It is the shit. PHP IDS is fucking awesome. So one of the things that's really cool about PHP IDS is they have something called a smoke test. So essentially what's happening with the smoke test is you can go up in here and you can throw in your cross-site scripting or your SQL injection. I call it the practice you're coming through space. Right? So you go up here, you put in whatever payload, whatever web-based attack payload that you want, and then you just say, okay, I want it to be URL encoded, I want them to allow safe HTML, or whatever you want. And then what it'll do is it'll come back and it'll show you what rules your attack triggered. So you just keep changing the game up, changing your encoding type, making the actual injection payload smaller. You keep changing it because like here you see in my first attack, what's my number over here? My first attack, the score's a 29. Excuse me. Yep. First attack, the score's a 30. I modify the attack, now the score's a 22. And then what you do is you just keep changing it and keep changing it until eventually this bad boy says what? It's good. It's so good. So as soon as it tells you, hey, this payload is now bypassing, all of our filters, I now go and put that in my tools. Okay? Now this is just like VirusTotal, guys. So, if you're using virustotal.com, that gets submitted to the different vendors. Now, I don't know that this gets submitted to all the other web application firewall vendors, but it at least gets added to PHP IDS and Mod Security's rule set because now Mod Security and Breach have partnered with PHP IDS. So, eventually, the things you do, they get detected. So you try it on Wednesday, by Friday they've usually written a rule for it. But to go against most of the other web application firewalls, all those other types of products, they tend to work great. All right, so signature-based IDS is a joke. Comment injection, uppercase, lowercase, all these types of things still work. Okay, encoding works. All right, now, getting in via the web. Getting in via client side. Just on a 2-day pen testing workshop here, and we were talking a lot about client-side pen testing. And one of the things I run into is I run into clients who really don't want me to do this. They're like, wow, Joe, we really don't want you to do social engineering. We really don't want user interaction exploits. So I have some spreadsheets that show tracking of vulnerabilities over the years. And you can start to see that as soon as you want vulnerabilities that are in the 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010 space, you'll see that all of those vulnerabilities are client-side. The overwhelming majority of those vulnerabilities are client-side. There are things in Internet Explorer, there are ActiveX controls, there are Adobe PDF, WinZip, Winamp, QuickTime. They're all client-side vulnerabilities. So you're trying to explain to the user, this is the hacker threat. We as pen testers need to replicate the hacker threat. So we have to do user interaction exploits, we have to do social engineering. So I had one director of information security at a bank go, Joe, I understand how important this client-side stuff is, but I'm not going to pay you to tell me I need user awareness training. And that really kind of kicked me in the fucking balls, because I was like, damn. Because for the first couple of years of the client-side pen testing that I was doing, all I was telling the client was, well, your users are stupid. Tell them not to click on it next damn time. Right? But I really realized that, me as a pen tester, I need to up my game. Right? Yes, users are stupid, but I needed to up my game. I can't just roll up into the client and be like, dude, your users are stupid. Pay me. Now I'm like, your users are stupid. And you don't have host-based IPS. And you don't have an outbound content filtering proxy. And you don't you don't monitor outbound HTTPS connections and outbound DNS connections. Now, make sense? So, biggest thing with Metasploit is my tool of choice. No, I don't use Core. So the biggest thing with that is I just choose whatever's the newest browser, PDF, ActiveX, or file format exploit, and then I just make sure I say exit on session false, fire that bad boy off. Okay, now in Social Engineering Toolkit, this is getting even easier. Sorry, I was drinking too much. I didn't update the slides for what's all the new stuff in Social Engineering Toolkit. So Social Engineering Toolkit, another Python-based tool. What? Social Engineering Toolkit integrates with Metasploit beautifully. Comes up and it says, hey dude, what do you want to do today? Do you want to clone somebody's website and send phishing emails pointing back to the cloned website with your interpreter payload built in. What? Do you want to do that with Java Dropper? What? Beautiful, right? So, do you want to generate USB, CD, or DVDs with embedded interpreter built into them? Okay, what? See, he's learning. Okay, it's absolutely beautiful, guys, absolutely beautiful. All right, next thing, pivoting into the LAN. So, you do your client-side exploit or you do your web-based exploit. Now it's time to pivot into the LAN. So what I mean by pivoting into the LAN is you want to now use that own box as your gateway into the LAN. Everything you send to it, you want it to be tunneled into the LAN. Metasploit actually allows you to do this. You can just take your session and you can say route add, take the IP address of the own box, and make sure you specify the correct session ID. And now all the traffic that you send will go straight through that own box and go right into the LAN wherever you want to go. So pivoting into the LAN does work in Metasploit. A little kludgy once in a while. Sometimes you want to route Dell and it doesn't work. But pivoting into the LAN is possible. You can scan through it and you can shoot all of your exploits through that box that you compromised. So you now want to attack other hosts in the LAN and you want to make all those attacks look like they're coming from that one own box that you have in the LAN. You can do that now. So I see this and I notice a lot of guys use Metasploit, but I look at it and I'm like, well, if you're on, it seems like they use Metasploit internally. I don't really see a lot of guys externally do their client-side attack, pivot into the LAN, and then use Metasploit as their gateway to go jump in and attack all the other boxes. It's really not that hard. It's just a couple of lines, guys. All right, common LAN stuff that I run into. So I have the horrible misfortune of having to deploy NAC solutions. Ugh. So one of the things that I've been running into is you get into the LAN now and people have all this cool stuff. So the first thing that's obviously a joke is DHCP, static IP addresses, right? Everybody knows their kid can bypass this, yeah? Just spoof a MAC, okay, steal an IP address. Other things that I run into is port security and NAC solutions. So we'll skip the first two because I know you guys actually have a pulse. And we'll start talking about the other guys, port security and NAC solutions. Port security, I don't know why people even consider this a security implementation. Choosing what MAC addresses are going to be allowed on the switch, and you can literally just walk by, grab a box, look at the back of the Dell and read the MAC address and go, okay, I guess that's the MAC I'm going to be using. That's a joke. Right? I don't even call that a security implementation, right? Anybody can bypass that. NAC solutions. Things that NAC solutions really blow me away. You're looking for all this 802.1x, right? So I'm pen testing this one customer, and they're deploying this massive 802.1x NAC solution. Okay, now I'm not there to deploy the NAC solution, but I'm there pen testing at a separate section of the network. He's telling me, well, I really want to see how you do against, building 5 or whatever building it was, because we've got the NAC solution deployed over there. And I walked into the room, and I was like, okay, where's the printers? So I walked in the room, and I grabbed a printer, I hit the little buttons on it. I'm like, okay, so here's the IP address, here's the MAC. Unplugged the printer, plugged in my laptop, took the IP address, took the MAC. I was like, okay, well, I'm on the network. And I told the CIO, I said, well, your NAC solution sucks. He kind of looked at me, he's like, I just spent like $200K on it. I'm like, well, it sucks. Okay? But that's not really the case. Let's be real, right? If you're going to use something like 802.1x, you're going to have to keep track of what your 802.1x exceptions are, right? You're going to need to keep track of your printers, your copiers, your voice over IP phones. Any network device that's going to need to be excluded from 802.1x, any non-802.1x compliant device, is going to have to be an exclusion. So I try to get the customer to create VLANs just for excluded devices. So if all of our voice over IP phones are going to be excluded, we want to create a voice VLAN. If all of our printers are going to be excluded, we want to create a printer VLAN. And then we want to make ACLs for what devices in each of these excluded VLANs are allowed to talk to, what network ranges they're allowed to talk to. It's simple stuff, but it's the kind of thing that when you see these NAC solutions implemented, they're implemented horribly. Okay? They just want to say that they have implemented. It's the thing that amazes me most is I think people just like saying that they bought cool shit. It's kind of like, oh, well, we've got